Hi Dreamweavers, I'm Sleep and Dream Specialist Leah Bolin, and in this video I want to share something that I've been exploring a bit. It might sound a little out there at first, but stick with me. We are talking about grounding, and specifically about grounding sheets. Grounding, also called earthing, is the idea that connecting physically to the earth helps rebalance the body's natural energy. Think walking barefoot out in nature, lying in the grass, floating on a lake. The earth carries a gentle electrical charge, and the theory is that we benefit when we tap into that, especially in a world where we're spending most of our lives insulated from it, in our buildings, in our cars, and yes, even in our shoes. Grounding sheets were designed to bring that connection indoors. They're made from silver threaded fabrics, and they actually plug right into the grounding port of a wall outlet. And they're bringing you that walk on the earth impact while you're lying in bed asleep. I first heard about these from a guest visiting Marival Resort and Spa, where I'm the resident sleep and dream specialist. I was told by this person they were sleeping better on grounding sheets. That sounded very interesting to me. I was skeptical, but then I heard about grounding sheets from another guest sometime later. And by the time a third guest had brought up to me that they really found grounding sheets to help their sleep, I thought, wow, I'm going to check these out. I decided to have my own experience with what it's like to sleep on grounding sheets. I decided to test out 3 different brands over a series of weeks, really watching what was happening with our sleep scores, my husband's and mine, over the course of these weeks as we were sleeping on grounded sheets, as compared to a baseline of what our sleep scores and nights were like prior to using grounding sheets. It was my own little mini study. GroundLuxe was one of the companies that provided a fitted sheet for me to test, and honestly, both my husband and I found theirs to be our favorite of the 3 we tried. So I was happy to share a review based on our experience with their product. Now, I even used my husband's voltage meter with his help to check voltage was working with each of the sheets we tested, and they all do a really good job actually helping make an impact when you measure voltage that is connecting with you from Wi-Fi in the room, from EMFs coming around, electromagnetic fields. You'll see a difference when you actually are connected to the earth, or in this case to the grounding sheets. So knowing that it's actually doing something was really fascinating. And the grounding sheets from GroundLuxe came with additional things that other companies didn't provide that I had tested. They send a grounding port tester. This is so important. I wouldn't even maybe thought about it had they not sent this. But we should not plug anything into a grounding port and assume it's safe and properly connected without first testing that that particular outlet is proper. And the other thing they sent that the others did not is this multi-prong connector that is also a safety adapter, so we can be sure that we're plugged in properly and there's no mistakes that can be made there. Plus, if you have multiple grounding products, it allows you to plug in both. Say if 2 people had, maybe they were using pillowcases, that might each need to be individually plugged in, which, by the way, pillowcases could be an interesting travel item to be able to take with you. And they all come with a cord where you can plug the sheet right into that grounding port. I ended up going the all-natural way and decided to actually ground mine to the earth outside my window. I give way more details about my testing of these sheets, the comparison and all the sheets I compared, as well as those test results, what happened to our sleep, and some of the tips and side effects that I would want anyone I was working with to have them test grounding sheets to know about. So I really hope you're going to click in and check out that full blog post. You can find a link to that full blog post in the description of this video if you want to really dive in deeper with those details. And my favorite part of the GroundLuxe sheets as compared to the others was the comfort. Let's face it, we want our sheets to feel good, and GroundLuxe sheets we found, my husband and I, to be really nice on the skin and had a cooling effect, which is wonderful being here in our hot Tucson summer weather. And these sheets, I would say, were as soft as any we would normally sleep on that do not have grounding threads through them. They really also stood up well, these sheets, to washing. Other brands that we were testing, by the time they'd been washed a second time, one of them started to do a little puckering. They weren't nearly as soft as they had been after the first washing, whereas the GroundLuxe sheets are holding up better. And they do have more threading through them as far as the silver threading, which they do tout in their own website, should make for a longer term usage. So for me, if I were going to recommend a brand based on what I've tried, it would be the GroundLuxe. I'm always looking for natural remedies that can move us better into our night of sleep, and grounding sheets has been a really interesting exercise in exploration. I'm sold on grounding sheets now. I think I'm going to be holding them in my life, and of course, I don't think of them as the end-all be-all to sleep. There are so many things that affect our sleep, support our sleep, and can also hinder our sleep. But when you're looking for ways to get closer to our natural order, certainly grounding and earthing is a wonderful approach, and having grounding in your bed could be something you would like as well. I hope that you've enjoyed this video and it's given you something to think about, and please do check out that blog for more of the details, and I am wishing you the sweetest of dreams.